welcome to a Chandler's channel. I'm Tracy, your host, and today's episode is our intuitive weekly reading for February 17th through 23rd. So welcome if that's what you're here for. As usual, I like to touch back on the previous week's reading first, and then we'll go get my spirit guide Whitehawk and consciously channel him for some insight, tips, teachings, and or healings for your week ahead. All right, well, Whitehawk had said that, simply put, it would be a week of celebration, and so I hope you found celebration in your week. I do know that Valentine's was last week, and that that would give us reason to celebrate, but that's not the only reason. Maybe perhaps you celebrated, perhaps you could share with us what you celebrated. For me, the celebration continues today because I'm celebrating a family member's birthday, actually two family members' birthdays, and so if you're watching this, happy birthday to you both. Mwah. But I also was celebrating new friends and the reconnection with old friends. And although what I had thought the celebration would be, it wasn't, because I had hit my head, as I had mentioned in my previous intuitive weekly reading, and so that's put me down or set me back probably for a couple of weeks. And so I'm up here and I'm able to do this, and I'm very happy to do this because I feel so disconnected if I can't come and do these readings for you guys. So all in all, to say simply that, you know, sometimes it's not what you think the celebration is going to be. It's rare to me that you're ever able to completely interpret when you get these readings what it will actually be. But these readings do prepare you on various levels for what is coming to you, good, bad, ugly, and you know there's a lot of good that comes. Don't be a worrier. And oftentimes, so when I hit my head, this made me think, right, that when things like this happen, when chaos happens in your life, chaos is usually precedes the change. So it could mean change is coming in your life. Now, whether that means the big changes, you know, of leaving home or leaving a relationship, I don't know. It doesn't always have to be bad, is all I'm saying. Now, when I think of things I've seen and examples I can give you of changes, the big one would be, and I sorry to keep touching on this for poor Jennifer Aniston, but when her and Brad Pitt were about to break up, she broke her leg, a limb. I don't know if it was an ankle or a leg, but you remember she was walking around with a cast on her leg. And then she and Brad Pitt broke up. Remember that whole scandal with Angelina Jolie, right? So that was a way of saying that change was coming. And she'd never be able to interpret what it would be. Even if you were to say, oh God, you know, for me to say, oh my God, I hit my head, what the heck does that mean? You would never be able to fully interpret what it means. It could simply mean that, you know, stop hurting yourself. You're self-sabotaging yourself all the time. Because if you think bad things are going to come to you, then indeed they do come to you, because there is a mind-body connection, right? And other examples I can think of, friends and family members. There was one family member who was having problems with their eyes. They kept getting these cysts, not cysts, what are those called? You know, when you get that little thing on their eye, it's like a little pimple. God, I can't remember what they're called. And she got one on one eye, and then she got another one on the other eye. And that was there was something she didn't want to see. And indeed, there was something in her life that was blocking her vision, blinding her vision, that she didn't want to see. And then it did come to fruition a couple of months later. You know, yeah, there was something blocking my vision that I didn't want to see. And then she was able to you know, remove that block and move forward. So that just reminded me of some things I can teach you about taking a look at when something happens to you, an injury or illness. And I'm not saying it's all is a message for change that's about to occur. There's much more. Perhaps you needed it because you needed to slow down, you know, that brick to the head thing, you know, if you're not going to slow down, well, the good Lord's going to slow you down, right? So there's many reasons for it, but I just wanted to touch back on that. Okay, so I hope you had a good week of celebration. So let's go in and let's go get the big guy and see what he has to say for our week ahead. Indeed, he says. What can I say about the week ahead that has not preceded the change already? And we're all like, oh, that's so funny. It's so funny, Whitehawk, that you're being punny about preceding the change and so on and so forth. He goes, yes, but you will often find that this one is oftentimes right on with what she speaks of before I come here to deliver unto you this reading, he says. And so when she says chaos preceding change, he says, here's what I could tell you in regards to chaos preceding change. Not all the time, but when you think of big things that happen in the world, it cannot help but incur change. And when he's saying that, I see a tornado. So say like a tornado rips through a city. And he says, yes, many people's lives have been changed when Mother Nature comes calling. And we're all like, yeah, that's a big one. Holy smell. He says, yes. But oftentimes little things, such as when we sprain our ankle or we fall down and we break our crown, he says, and he's like winking at me, you know. He says, when we break an ankle or we fall down and break our crown, he says, oftentimes those things happen before the change will occur, somehow allowing us to let us know, it's such as a universe is coming back to let us know that indeed change is coming, it's happening. And so what I will say to you, my children, as you celebrated last week and continue to celebrate into this next week, is that yes, keep your eyes open for the chaos, the injury, the illness, the disease that precedes the change for you. Now keep in mind that the change does not mean it will be immediately 24 hours later, but indeed it can be months, if not years, he says sometimes, for indeed is it not a process. And we're all shaking our head, yeah. So for many of you this week, as you move forward into your desired outcomes, as we have been speaking this whole month, he says, about a lot will happen, will precede the change. He says a lot of chaos, a lot of illness, a lot of disease, a lot of injury will precede that change. But for many of you, that illness, that injury, that disease has already occurred. And so, although this is a little confusing, he says, for some, for others, you completely get it. And that will be because you have come through it. You have come through the chaos and you're arriving at your desired outcome. But many of you will be going through the change, will be coming through, will be moving forward to the change, he says. And so it is a process. So I simply ask you to keep your eyes out for little mishaps that do occur in your life and around you, going, oh, you know, he says, take it with a grain of salt, laugh at it, he says, use that sense of humor, he says, to get through it, he says, because as aggravating as it can be, it is a sign of indeed that for sure change is coming, is arriving on your doorstep. So be blessed this week, my children, as we endeavor, as always, to move closer and closer to our desired outcome in the upcoming weeks, and most definitely in the upcoming year. Be blessed, children. Be blessed. Come back to this spot often, as I have always, as I have said before, to refresh often. But not only to refresh, but to relearn. To relearn lessons that perhaps you have forgotten already, he says. Come back here, for the audio, the video will always be here for you. God bless. Well, there you go. That brings up another point of how connected Whitehawk and I are, right? And although we're definitely different energies and we're different beings, oftentimes we're on the same wavelength. So that which will be in my mind, or in my mind, or what I'll be talking about, will be preceding what it is that he's going to come and speak to. So that shows you how there's a synchronicity, or you're on the same wavelength with your spirit guides, but also, you know, it could be the energy of the people around you where you're on the same wavelength. And this is just reminding me, same wavelength. I just want to thank again those people who are coming out. You are coming out. You are speaking to me, even though it's in private messages. I feel very grateful. I'm very blessed at the fact that you are coming out and you are speaking to me. And I know more and more of you will start to come out. You'll start to get that confidence to come out and to speak your truth, because it is real. It is true. Don't discount what you're feeling, what you're seeing. And journaling it and then going back to it is only going to validate what you've seen in the past. So thanks everyone for those who came to me with their very therapeutic and healing insights. I've been using it. There's been one color therapy especially that I've been using. So thank you very much for that. And you know, keep commenting, keep thumbs upping, because, you know, help me, help you. There's that exchange of energy. All right, I'll let you go for now. Go on, move forward, celebrate, and we'll meet back here and see what else we've been celebrating and when we've reached our desired outcomes. God bless. I'm Tracy for a Chandler's Channel.